In this 2-minute Java lesson, we'll talk about simple exception handling, which would mean how to use try-catch blocks. Simply stated, exception handling is a way to keep your user from doing something stupid, a way to stop your programs from crashing, and it can be a way to handle other errors. Typical stupid errors and problems that can cause your program to crash include someone asking someone to enter a number and then the user enters a string instead. In this case, maybe someone's age is asked for, but the person enters the word apple instead. A number that results in dividing by 0, or access to a variable that's not there, or an internet connection that's interrupted during download. Allowing your program to crash is a really bad way to fail a program. If someone enters the wrong type of data, they don't want the whole program to crash. So we're going to look at a better way. A better way to fail is to handle the exception. In this case, we've got a program that asks for somebody to enter their age. If the user enters a string instead of a number, now the program captures that error and handles it. In this case, it types out the phrase, "that isn't an integer," exiting, and then exits the entire program. That's a much more graceful way to end the program. Doing exception handling always involves a try block followed by a catch block. So it'll be try, and then the curly braces, some dangerous statement or statements, an end curly braces, and then followed by a catch block. The catch block also has the actions to take enclosed within the curly braces. Behind the scenes, what's really happening is an exception is an object which captures the runtime error. So notice the catch statement declares an exception called EX. And now the catch statement catches that exception and does something with it. In this case, it prints out a message. But you can also have it print out the exception itself. Notice the second print line that has EX dot toString. That allows you to print out the exception's formal name, and other information can be printed out in a very similar way. Here's our whole sample program. All it does is create some variables, and a variable for age. Then it prompts the user to enter an age. Then within the try block, it accepts that input. If there is an error found, it proceeds to the catch block, where the exception is printed out and an error message is printed out. And then, of course, it exits the system. System.exit is the way it exits the system. Now, if no error was detected at all, it would continue, and the execution would continue to system out print line your age is, and then print out your age. There are many places where you're going to want to use exception handling. Data entry, I/O, potential arithmetic problems where there might be a division by 0, or anything that might cause you to point to a piece of data that wasn't there. Essentially, you want to use exception handling in any section of code that could crash your program. This is only the very, very beginning of what you can do with exceptions. You can also throw your own exceptions, so cause an exception to be thrown when you want it to be thrown. You can create custom exceptions. Many advanced programmers use custom exceptions as a very easy way to handle different branches within a code, especially in error conditions.